how would you define the process of getting good at having a successful social interaction?
Well, the first thing is immersion, because if you're in your room all day sitting there like Tom Packer,
Don't name drop people.
Might have to cut that. You're sitting there. But I used to do this. I used to sit in my room and I'd play like Warzone or whatever and Knockdown, and all I would speak to is the same like 4 people, and it doesn't really get you anywhere because you're not building confidence, because the limiting factor there is just the fact that you've known them for so long. But when you actually start speaking, I'm not talking about like, oh, can you pass me the glue stick? No, I can't pass you the glue stick because it's there. You get it yourself, or ask the teacher. But the point I'm trying to make is you've got to start speaking to people. Don't just sit there, and try and like your mum's doing the speaking for you in the restaurant, asking for the bill. Who's Bill? It's not me. I'm Benji.
That's gone through. Sorry, that's gone over so many of your heads. Give it a second. Write it out and then you'll get it. Okay, so now that we've defined what you can do, right? What if you don't really want to? Like, you're kind of like, what would you say the benefits of having a social interaction are? Like, I would say, like, most of the YouTube videos that I've watched that I've said like, 97-year-old man gives life advice and stuff like sorry, Ben was just sick everywhere because of how funny that was. Right, okay. Okay, well, okay. So in all of those old, when I ask advice from old people, they always tell me you need to cultivate your relationships. You need to have good, strong, healthy relationships with other people, because that's what you really value in your life. Having a great job, that's great. Having some pets, having some kids, that's great. But having valuable relationships with other people, they say, is the most valuable thing on your deathbed of your life. That's what they say is the most valuable thing. So if you don't value relationships, I would say, well, you definitely should. Now, can you explain why some people are more socially attractive? So, for example, like, some people just have it, and some people don't have it. So what would you say the difference is, and how would you say you could get it?
Well, first of all, to get it, you have to speak to people, like I said before. But this is the thing that separates people who have it and people who want it and people who want to get it. And that is, if you think you've already got it, you've got it. I'm telling you now, moving like you're the boss makes people assume you're the boss. I'll give you an example. As soon as I became sort of a leadership figure in work, I moved like I was a leadership figure in work, and then people would come up to me saying, "Oh, hi, are you the manager?" Yes. No, yeah, I am the manager. I'm not. But that's not the point. The point is that people assumed I was the manager because I moved like I was. And the same goes with confidence. If you move with confidence, you're sort of putting out to people that you are up for a conversation, and also not going to be an awkward person, because the last thing a person wants to do is speak to an awkward person. You know how awkward that is? Donnie's standing there. Well, yeah. You got to give something back in the conversation. And I think when you're a confident person, people see it. They do see it. You think they don't, but they do, because I can tell you they do. But I want to ask you, like, how would you define sort of like the confident walk, and then so people can sort of know what they're looking for?
So I would say the walk is sub-perceptional, so you don't consciously do the walk. And what I'm talking about the walk is, you see some people and they just, you look at them and they have a certain je ne sais quoi. They have a certain, it means, in French it means a certain, I don't know what. A certain, no, that's what it means, Okay. Okay. But they have the walk because they have the inner confidence, right? It's not about outer confidence. It becomes from the inside out. For example, right? I used to never go to the gym, right? When I was younger, when I was 13, 14, I never used to go to the gym. I didn't used to do barely any exercise at all. And I didn't feel confident at all. And I think that's because you don't do anything. You don't feel good within yourself. But when you start, even if you don't look the part, and you just feel the part within yourself. Like at least I tried to go to the gym, and I did that for me, and that's for me. Even though the physical repercussions of your actions aren't there yet, I would say that it's still really beneficial for you to try. I think it's the pursuit of the confidence that gives you the confidence, because confidence is fake, but it's also real. Because you think the people that have it just have it, but no, it's the striving to have it that gives them it. So, I would say once you have confidence, how would you use it? Because now I have quite a lot of confidence. Now I could go and talk to anyone, but I don't really care anymore, and that's what it is. I don't care that I could talk to anyone. I know I could, and that's why I kind of keep to myself now.
Knowing you could is sort of it's the same thing as being able to. People don't understand this a lot, but it makes it so much easier when you know you can do something. But that's the same as thinking you can do something. That's the first step. You have to if you walk into a conversation with a pretty girl or whatever and think, oh, she's way too good for me, all this, she's never gonna speak to me, bro. She can see that. She knows she's thinking that. If you move in yeah, well, I'm the fittest man in this room, if she doesn't want me, then she's gonna get some small dick energy later. Do you know what I mean? In that case, she's gonna be looking at you, you're over there playing some moves, there's a good song on, and you're just dancing.
So why is there a good song on?
I don't know.
Because you put it on.
Because I put it on. Because the DJ went, fucking hell, he's fit. And then, because he's gay. I'm gay, by the way.
Oh, what?
Shout out to Mr. Bracey as well.
No, why are you shouting him out? He's so not going to listen to it.
Yes, he is. I'm going to email it to him. This link, I'm going to email it to him. And then also, you said the pursuit of confidence is the same as confidence. I agree with that completely. As soon as you start going for it, you're already there. Because to pursue confidence is having confidence to do it. Do you see what I mean? People don't. It's sort of it's like a paradox almost. But that's all you need to do. It's all fake. It's all acting, yeah. But fucking everything's fucking acting, isn't it? You see, look at Donnies. They're walking around. They put on a walk. I put on a walk as well. I saw. Shout out to Alex. I have one hand in my left pocket and my other one swings. Do you know what I mean? But people see that. Oh, fucking hell, his hand's swinging. He must be confident. And also he's fit, and that helps. It does help when you're good looking as well. But you don't need to be good looking to sort of, just chat to women.
And that's obviously a big one. So I would say also, just branching off of that, I would say a huge step is just accepting yourself and accepting the things that you can't change about yourself. Due to confidence, because confidence is obviously, we've branched off a little bit here from social to talking to people to confidence, right? But I think it's a pretty linear graph. So we've drawn it's quite an easy thing to follow, because you need confidence to talk to people and you need to talk to people to be social. So if you don't accept yourself for who you are, then you can't go any further. You need to have a good look at yourself and say, what can't I change, and what is just inherent to me, and that's just me. And if someone brings it up, then that's just me. That's your answer. Oh, why'd you have that mole on your nose? That's just me. Yeah, but shout out to Liam Vaughan. But we're gonna get a lawsuit on this.
I'm not an expert. I am.
Why do you wear your clothes like that? That's just me. And that, whatever that is, that is confidence. That's just me. People say, oh, well, he's okay within himself. Accepting yourself for who you are is confidence within yourself. But if you don't like yourself, then change yourself to someone that you would like to be. So there's only two options. It's either change to who you want to be, or just be who you are and be okay with that. What would you like to say, Ben?
Well, I just think, yeah, people are often told when they're younger, like, oh, you know, it's okay who you are, your best is okay. But start thinking it's not.
Yeah.
Start thinking. Because imagine you're feeling down, you're feeling shit, and someone says to you, oh, well, you're okay how you are, but you're not okay. Imagine someone telling you that. They're telling you that it's not going to get better from here. You're not okay how you are. Start making some changes in your life. You know, go on a diet, go to the gym, definitely go to the gym. I cannot recommend that enough. Get a job, start speaking to people, start putting yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's where you're going to gain confidence. You're going to gain shit in your comfort zone, to be honest, apart from a boner. So start.
Wait, the disease, a boner?
Yes.
Oh, a boner.
Yes.
I thought they put that on.
No, Jamie's a bowler.
Oh.
Shout out to Jamie Mack as well. He was the last guest on here. As I say, you have to change shit in your life. Otherwise, it's gonna get boring. I'm not even gonna lie. It's gonna get so boring eventually when you're just gonna sit there, sort of doing the same thing you do every day, getting up at a shit time of day. You know, days where, you know, getting up at 10, getting up at 11. Get up early, start the day well. Start the day, go to the gym, eat something good, and it sort of sets the mood for the day. And when you're in that sort of confident state, you exude confidence when you're in that state. You ooze it. People look at you, they go, well, they don't, but in your world, you see it, you're looking at people, and if you think, yeah, well, they think I've got it all sorted, that's confidence. Obviously, you haven't got it all sorted. I'll let you into something. No one's got shit sorted. Apologies. Just make a change, make one change, and then I'll tell you now, when you make one change, you'll think, wow, this is sick, and then you're gonna make another change, and we're gonna have a change. It's like a chain reaction.
I would say even just start just a tiny bit, because obviously you can't go to the gym and do all this instantly. It's not an instant thing. It's a very long progression. But the pursuit is what you want. The strive, the road there is what you want. The progress is the success, not the end goal. But if the end goal was a success, then nobody would be successful. The progress is when you see someone striving for something it's so difficult, but they're just hustling it out. That is success. You define your own success. So, like, thinking about this, it's a bit weird, because like in school, it's a very different social It's a very different social game to outside of school. So, I mean, a lot of people that are obviously listening to this are going to be in school, but a lot are going to be outside of school, and I think they're very, very distinct, like, arenas to where the social, how the social mechanics interact. Yeah, it's different challenges. Like, it's not one formula fits all. So, what would you say, like, a good way to, like, enhance your social status and, like, popularity, if you want to derive that, because I know you love doing that, in the high school era, and then after high school, how would you say to progress in? I think once you leave high school, you'll understand it a bit more, but a lot of people are very confused in high school, because, to be honest, you still are like a kid. You were just born yesterday. So what would you say a good, like, thesis on how would you increase your social status in secondary school?
I have one technique, and that is getting a job. Because when you get a job, for your first few weeks, and make sure it's in customer service, don't go to McDonald's and work in a kitchen, right, for the Donnies offering you Coke the whole time. Go and get a job in, I don't know, retail, front of house somewhere, anywhere where you're interacting with customers, and I promise you, within 2 weeks, every bit of shyness will be knocked out of you. You'll be able to speak to pretty much anyone. You'll be able to deal with difficult people. You'll know what people want from you in the sort of in the job sector, and also you earn a bit of money, so there's no downside.
But wait. I remember when I was getting my first job, right, and I was scared to go and give my CV in. I was actually scared to go and give my CV in. Why was I scared to give my CV in? I was, like, apprehensive. I was like, oh, I don't really want to go in there. But now I'm just like, yeah, it's my CV. What are you gonna do about it? It's just my CV. So you just gotta push through that fear, because you've got to realize that, right, this fear is here, but it's for no reason. There's no reason for you to have the fear, and past that fear is so much greater things. There's so many more things that you could achieve past the fear.
I mean, we've both had multiple jobs. Well, I've had 2, you've had T-Van 3. There's going to be people. There is always going to be people who you don't like in these places where you work. But do you know what? Just get on with it. It's the working world. I think people leave high school and they're quite childish. They're immature. They haven't done it on their own. I tell you what. As soon as you leave sixth form, in uni, you're on your own. You don't need to go to lectures. They're online. You're on your own. You need to make your own money. You need to deal with your own money. You need to make your own friends. Hang with your own people. It's a completely different scenario to when you're in high school. In high school, you go home, you cry to your mum. You can't do that in life. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's quite deep, but your mum's not gonna be there the whole time. You have to start, and I recommend doing this as soon as after year 11. You've had your little childish days. You smoked a bit of dope. Do you know what I mean? Down the line, you haven't. Not in year 11. I hope not, anyway. And if you have, there's obviously things need to be changing.
Popularity.
I will, but we'll get into that. Soon. But what I'm saying is,
aim this at your mouth.
so yeah, sorry, Lucky, but in work you sort of put it under your mouth like that. People can't hear me now, but
No, you can't.
well, that's what I do in work.
No, but I'm talking about you're doing it on the side.
Can everyone with a red wristband please make their way safely off the trampolines as your session is now finished? That's everyone with a red wristband.
Wait,
Thank you.
the blue one.
No, Shaquille, it was a fucking red one, alright? Fucking hell, get back on the trampolines. Doesn't do his job, Shaquille. I love him though, so he barks at me. Now this guy, he has so much confidence that I'm his sort of leader, and I'll go, yo, Shaquille, and he'll go, woof, like that, and he'll bark at me. This guy will bark at me. How mad is that? But yeah, we'll get into popularity now, but I think we need to do some background on it in terms of like the high school scenario, because do you understand that? You can't really understand it, so I'll pass it back to you, Lucky.
So within high school, I think there's different ways to get up the social ladder. But I mean, that's like you're still like your main goal. Like your main goal in high school is to be popular, or to be like, you're not really doing anything else. You don't have a job. You're not really doing anything else. So I would say to do that, getting a job when you're like, you can't get a job until you're like 16. Yeah, I would say get one when you're 16. Or at least strive to get one when you're 16. Yeah. You can't hit. So in high school, there's a few ways to get popular, and this will only appeal to like the younger audience. But to be honest, I feel like the younger audience are gonna watch my shit, so that's what it is. So in terms of that, there's so many different ways in which you can become popular in high school. Obviously, one of the ways, which is kind of out of your control, is just be attractive. If you're attractive, then you just are popular in high school, right? And another way is you're just a rebel. You don't follow like the rules, and people look at that, because if you're just going down the same road as everyone else, no one really looks at you, no one really notices. But if you do things differently to other people, people have to look, because they're not doing that, and they think, wait, are they doing something right? Are they doing that? That's crazy. Yeah, that one there. So there's either one that you can't control, which you could control, to be honest, if you just took care of, like, most teenagers don't even like wash their face in the morning and shit like that. Like, wash your face, bro. Trust me. Wash your face. Your spots will go away if you drink water and wash your face.
Know this swimming bird.
I'm just gonna grab this a second, right?
This blue eye perceives
Your best skin years, and I've been told this by many people,
past.
your best skin years, right, are until you're 20, and after that your skin is going to decline. So please wear sun cream. You don't understand the damage that sun does to your face when you don't wear sun cream, alright? Please put it on, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We are actually sponsored by we're not sponsored by shit, man. I don't make no money. Anyway, so yeah, so there's two ways. There's either look good or be bad. So that's pretty much it. But I feel like there's another way. I feel like if you're like abstract, if you have something to offer, for example, like if you always bring gum, you could be the gum guy. So much money though.
Don't get labelled as
Yeah, don't get labeled as only the specifically gum guy, right?
If you want to get the gum off a guy, you gotta be the gum guy.
Bro, if you're ugly, then get funny because that's the only way for you. If you're a girl, then hang out with the cool girls and don't be bitch. Don't be a bitch, bro.
But if you're pretty, you can't be a bitch.
If you're pretty, you could be a bitch and get away with it because you're pretty. So, I don't know, like, it's a difficult one because it's so diversified into like who you are. I would just say like lean into your identity a little bit, but also be very aware of the social rules of like your specific school. Like for example, like in what was it in our school? Like what were the things you couldn't do? Like oh, you can't do that. That's not it. You can't do that.
If football's being played, you play football.
Yeah.
Don't stand on the side and look. Just trust me. There was about 20 people out of like the 100 boys in our year who could actually play football, but every Donny got involved. And if you were getting involved, Donny's looking, oh look at that fucker over there, standing there like a knobhead. Get involved, yeah. That's one thing I say in high school, right? Get involved. Get involved.
I was in line to get involved.
Yeah.
In line, just get involved.
But I just want to talk to you about the popularity sort of paradox, I'd say. Now I'm reading a book called Outwitting the Devil. It's by Napoleon Hill, and it's not sponsored, but just do it. Just read it. Listen, yeah. Oh yeah, don't read. Listen, because it's so much more time efficient. But basically, it explains how the devil plays on your mind, and
Define the devil because a lot of people think of
I'll define the devil is the person responsible for every. It's not religious. It's just the person responsible for every negative emotion, every negative thought that you have in your mind. That lets you sort of. They're responsible for fear, and they use fear. The devil uses fear to get its way in. It's sort of like it's into your mind. And I'll just share this sort of derivation with you now, right? The devil, in order to get into your mind, you have to be, I think you would define this sort of person as a sheep. And the sheep person is the person who doesn't think for themselves, follows around the so-called popular people, and they just don't think for themselves. They're always following Donnies. You'll see them, sort of 10 feet behind the popular guy, 10 feet behind the good-looking guy.
They would be called the beta male in this society now, because a lot of like it's very popular to use that term beta male, but it's like the secondary, like not primary person. It's like the person that's like not the one, but they're number two. So, but you don't want to be number two.
No. Oh, of course not.
And we say number two, not as like the popular guy's friend. I'm sort of talking like you're either a number one, and there's a few of them, or you're a number two. And this is the thing, right? So there's 6 types of fear, and I'll go through them now with you. So they are poverty, death, ill health, old age, criticism, and loss of love for someone. They're the 6 types of fear. And keep that in mind as we go through this. So the type of fear that we're going to be talking about right now is criticism, and to avoid being criticised, what do people do? They follow the popular person, they follow the popular group. They sort of see the standard set there, and they go, right, I've got to live up to that standard, otherwise people are going to think I'm a dickhead, basically. And that's this applies mostly in the high school region. I'm talking year 7 to year 11. When you get to 6th form or college, Donnies don't really care. You've got your friends, you fuck with the people you want to fuck with, and other fuckers don't fuck with you, basically. But
So many bleeps are going to go in there.
for this to happen, there must be someone to follow. You have to have something to follow. Donnies follow Jesus, they follow Muhammad. You have to have something to follow. Someone has to set the standard, they have to. And this person is usually the popular person or the popular group, or sort of the few popular people. You know the people. If you're in school now, you'll know the people who I'm talking about here.
For some reason, I feel like it's innate to like a social hierarchy in human society. It's like there's always a popular group. There's always like, oh, it's those people over there, and you know who they are. Like there's always like a discrepancy between, oh, they're weird and they're not. But to be honest, everyone's weird in their own way, because weird is
That's just weird.
weird it's just the deviancy from the normal. So if you're weird, then just be weird, but don't be weird about it. Do you know what I mean? don't be non-accepting of it, because that's weird.
So back to the point, right? And I do agree, everything with that is, if you ain't being yourself, you're being weird. You're being weird. And everyone knows that as well. So a person is usually popular for 2 reasons. And Lucky's gone through this already. We'll skip over that. They are because they're good looking, which is sort of most of the time the case with sort of the most popular person in the year. They usually are the good looking person. And the other one is they don't follow rules, and that is associated with people. So you'll know these people. A lot of Donnies, they sort of that group. Yeah, exactly. They put on that low voice. But I'm not gonna lie, these people, they're often good Donnie. I'm not gonna lie, I quite like them. There's something wrong with these people. It's not their fault that this is the sort of society that we live in, where if you're good looking, you're popular. If you're naughty, you're popular. That's not their fault. I'll give you an example, right? So, good looking people, what happens with good looking people? The girls, where do they go? Oh, he's fit, let's go over to him. They flock like sheep.
But understandably.
Mary had a little lamb, right? We'll go with sort of like a 16-year-old lamb. So girls will flock to the good-looking boy because why? Because they desire him. Because that's desirable in high school.
If you think that's not true, you're an idiot.
And there's nothing you can do about that. That is a rule. That's a rule of nature. If you're attractive, you're desirable.
Negative electrons attract positive.
Exactly. It's a fundamental law. So don't worry about that. Don't think about that at night. You know what I mean? So what happens then? Other boys go, where are the girls at?
Where the Kjell at?
Exactly. Where are they? They're over there. They're following. We'll call this guy Benji, for example. They're following Benji, right? And the boys will go, yeah. Well, obviously, we'll go
Where's
see.
the girls at? I want to be with
I want to be with the girls. But the girls are being with Benji. I'm gonna let you into a little secret. These other boys are indirectly following Benji because Benji is fit and these girls desire him and these boys desire the girls and they are natural human laws. Don't worry about that because it happens in every walk of life.
What can you do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No, but you're just giving rules with no solution.
Well, I will. I'll give a solution as to how to be a bit fitter later, and I know a lot about that. So what does this do? This creates a large group, right? And this large group is sort of the group that sets the high standard, what you have to aspire to be. If you're not like them, what are you Lucky? You're weird, right? You're a nerd. All these sort of things, right? And for the devil to be able to influence a sort of group, a team, if you do A-level biology, Lucky wouldn't know that because he doesn't do that because he's not smart enough.
I learned about the Krem cycle.
Oh right. Okay.
Anaerobic inheritance.
Oh, right.
18 times more with more oxygen.
I know.
Crazy. I do so much anaerobic exercise.
Yeah. Not efficient. It's not efficient anaerobic
It's
exercise.
so inefficient.
2 ATP as opposed to 38.
You know how much that is?
38,
So
bro.
much
That's so
more.
many.
I know.
And I'll explain the Krem
Do
cycle to you in a second.
how much faster it is, though? But it's a lot. It's like a lot faster.
Yeah.
Bro, it's 100 steps from the other one.
That just puts me on to another thing. I'm going to go through how bad cocaine is in this podcast as well.
Okay, fuck it. We're gonna do that. Okay.
So back to the point, right? The devil can only influence people who don't think for themselves, only the sheep. And these sheep it's not their fault because there's laws that mean there has to be sheep in a society, in a system there must be sheep. The devil can go, oh, I'm getting in there because of the fear of criticism. If they don't follow this group, they're going to get criticised. They are scared, right? The fear. Scared is an emotion, fear is the reason for that emotion, right? And now, guess what? The devil is in. He can do his work. He can influence you. He can make you differ from your actual viewpoints because you don't have any in this situation. You are taking the viewpoints of others, the opinions of others to try and fit in with the group. So, therefore, the devil, what does he need? He needs the popular people, otherwise he can't do his work. The devil can't. If there was no popular person in a year of 200 people, everyone would think for themselves, there'd be no standard, right? And no one would think each other was weird because there's nothing to compare to. It's a comparison. You can't compare to something that isn't there. And therefore, the devil must have the popular person to be able to do his work. So, now this is sort of like linking two things which aren't really linked together, but would you then say the devil is the popular person? Would you not conclude that? Would that not be like a sort of, the 3 equal sign? Donnie's in further maths, I know what that is. Or if you just do maths, actually. That one, equivalent to the devil is the popular person. Would you not say that? I don't know. What's your thought on that?
I would say just the action of externalizing the negative feelings and thoughts that you have. So, for example, just naming the devil, not in terms of a religious sense of like a being with horns and shit like this. No, I'm talking about like I can't even cut that out because I was speaking. So, just externalizing this, just saying, right, that's the thing that I experience, but it's not me. That one there. If you just externalizing the part that you feel you don't want about yourself, just saying, okay, that's a thing and I'm gonna observe it. I think that process will make you so much more aware of yourself, and it'll give you so much more insight. And Ben's obviously done that, and he's given the lowdown of all that. So, but I think that's the first step. You've got to say, right, I don't like these things about myself, or I don't like this or that, right? But it's not me. So let me just separate it from my identity, and then let's go through the process of trying to get it. Okay, so now once you have like a high social status and you're happy with it, then you're still are you fully content with it? Because I mean, realistically, you can always climb this. There's always going to be someone above you. So
ladder is eternal. I'm telling you that now. The ladder that you can climb is eternal, and if it ain't, then what's the point in living? You get to that point, you're at the top. What now? I just want to point out as well, this system that I've just talked about with the popular person, if you're in school, it's going to happen. There's no such thing as a situation where, because this is the devil is clever. You don't understand this. He's been around for the whole time. Every time that there's been a second passes, right, the devil's been there. He knows, he's been around the block. It's not one of those ones, oh, I'm 30, I've been driving for 13 years. The devil's been driving for eternity. He knows what he's doing. There's always going to be this popular person in your setting, your system. But all I'm saying is, try and prevent the devil from controlling you. Have your own thoughts, and the key to that is confidence. And we've talked about that already. Being yourself, making changes in your life, so you are confident with yourself. The thing I'm going to go into now is about, I just want to say, pluck your eyebrows as well, because Donnie's noticed when they're connecting. Shout out to James Cook. I love that guy though. He wasn't upset when he finished school. I was. I don't know. Well, but that's a story for another time. I'll give you a few tips, right? If you're in I was ugly until about year 11 because I had a tooth which stuck up. You know, it got home 15 minutes before I did. And I never left the house.
Yeah, you did.
So, if there's uncontrollables like that, don't worry about it because there's nothing you can do. But I'll tell you what you can control. Have a good trim for a start, and it doesn't have to be the norm, as I'm saying. It doesn't have to be the popular guy's trim, the one that suits you.
Choose your clothes, don't let your mum.
Yeah, exactly. Choose your clothes, dress yourself. Or, Gary, I'm going to put these out for you later. No, I'm going to go in my drawers, right, and they'll get crinkled if they're in the drawer, so I recommend the wardrobe. And put your clothes on. Just put them on! Because to be honest, they don't even, as long as they fit well, they can be anything. I don't wear any of the normal branded shit or whatever. I wear stuff that fits me well, and people say, oh, you're a beautiful man. And I am. You will get to that stage. Unless you're fundamentally ugly, and if you are, you know, there is stuff in it for you. There's still stuff you can do. But wash your face, shower. If you smell, it makes you ugly, whether you're good looking or not. If you smell, you're ugly.
Well, I think with like the high school one, I think we should go into the adult one in a minute. But we don't have much experience with the adult one, to be honest, because we have a little bit. But to be honest, if an adult watches this, they're just gonna be like these two fucking 18-year-olds think they know shit, but they just don't. Okay, so I think when you desire something more than what you currently have, that's when the change will occur. So, for example, if you're like, oh, I don't care about girls, and you actually don't care about girls, then why would you change your appearance? For what? What for? Right? Or boys, or whatever it is, right? Well, I think like the determining factor is like when the uncomfortability of your situation increases the motivation, or it matches the motivation to act, right? I think that is when you start moving. Because if you don't have if you're like, oh, I want to do this, but to be honest, I don't really feel like it, then the motivation is lacking, but the desire is there. When the desire is high, and when and that makes the motivation high, then you're like, oh, okay, well now I need to do something, and then you do something. So just wait for that. To be honest, I don't know. Just hustle it out. Play Fortnite. I don't know. Do what you need to do until that point. But I would say strive for that point.
But desire is innate though. It's not like.
I don't know.
It's not like it's just one thing. It's just like a.
You do want something. There's never going to be a situation where you're sort of like, oh well, you know, I don't really know what I want. You want something. You want you want something. You definitely do. You just got to find that thing. But I will say with the sort of if you're not into girls or if you don't want to get girls, then why should I look good? There are you do. Yeah, unless you're asexual. You want to get someone, but look good. Just do it. It's not hard. It's not like, oh, I gotta get this. No, you haven't. You've got to get clothes that fit you, and you've got to have a good, decent trim. If you can't go a full beard, shave it off. Shout out to Bracy. Oh, shut up. And if you get dressed in the dark, turn the light on. And that's all I can say about that. There's not much more you can do. So the last thing I just want to mention is, I'll just give you a little tip on how to increase your desirability when you're in a room full of people, right? And that is this: don't be early to a party, because people see you. Oh, he's already there. People don't notice that. Do you know what they notice? Oh, fucking Gabe's here. Don't know why.
Okay. Oh.
Gabe's here. Oh, he looks good. Yes, bro. Donnie's on yes, broing you. Donnie's on yes, bro, and Sam. Do you know what I mean? He's already there. He's been there for hours.
No. Who's Sam? Well,
just a person. Yeah, just a general sort of. This is quite a boring sort of name.
But then, what's a general second name in Wales?
We'll call it Smith, because we ain't calling it Jones.
Sam
Yeah, Sam Smith.
Jones.
And he's bent as well. Sorry, I can't. I have to cut that. I'll allow it though, because a gay person has said that. Just put that out there. But what I'm saying is, turn up fashionably late. Jay does this. Jay knows to do this. What I'm saying is, if you're going to turn up to a party with your rugby mates who are pussies, and say this, oh, fucking Lack's going to be there today, or Ben's going to be there. It's Benji, but they call me Ben because they did the derivation. Benji's going to be there, and yeah, obviously, if they start chatting, then obviously we'll rock their... No, you're not going to rock shit. You are not going to rock shit. You're going to stand there with your coat on. Why's your coat on? You're in a house. Heating's on. Take your coat off.
Turn on Netflix. We're at a party.
We're at a party. Dance.
Oh my God.
Be the DJ. Do something like that. Be the DJ. Fucking hell, that's desirable. I'm going to tell you that. If you're a DJ, you're instantly fit. Whether you're an old man or a young woman, it doesn't matter. If you're the DJ, you're fit. And just... Don't say something which you ain't gonna follow through with. Do you know what I mean? Because people don't notice. And my mum always used to say to me, "Oh, people aren't looking," which is generally that is generally the case in life. But when you're at a party and you've turned out fashionably late, people are looking. They are looking.
But you want people to be looking.
Usually, when your mum says, "Oh, people aren't looking," you want people to be looking, but in a positive way, right? So if people aren't looking, then you've done something wrong. So if people are looking in a good way, you want people to be looking in a good way. Okay, just to finish this off, right? How would you say, I mean, we haven't really done this. Like, if you're in a group and you're like really in the group, like, how would you say to branch out of like that group so you can have multiple like groups of friends?
Get on Tinder.
No, don't recommend Tinder.
Nah, obviously not. All I can say is when you're in a group setting, and when you're in a group, a desirable sort of group who goes out and the first step is to get in that group, by whatever means necessary, right? When you're in that group, because you can't go to the prison on your own. Weird, that is. Bouncers won't let you in. Yeah. Shout out to George Harvey. When you're in this group and you're at a party, speak. Don't stand there in your group and, oh, I'll have that Red Bull. Don't have that Red Bull. Go and speak to that bird over there, because she knows people. And her mate knows people. Go and speak. Network. I'll leave you this one, right? This is the last thing I'll say. It's about who you know. It is about not what you know, not where you went to school. It's about who you know. If you know people, you've not even half the battle. 75% of the battle is won if you know people. So start knowing more people. That's my number one tip.
A massive issue nowadays, right? Because obviously we grew up when like TikTok was coming up. Like TikTok came out in year 9, I think it was for us, or year 10 or something like that, right? But we've obviously grown up with like Instagram and Snapchat and stuff like that, right? But people still used to talk, right? But nowadays, I feel like people really don't talk. Like they're really like they have not had the practice, and they're so in the hole that it's like, oh wow.
I don't know if you noticed, but your parents can talk so easily. That's reason anyway. It's because, do you know what? They weren't on FaceTime. They weren't. Well, actually, FaceTime is a bad example because you actually are speaking to Donnie. Shout out to Adil. He's got a boil on his leg. The reason your parents can speak to people is because they were forced into a situation when they were younger where they had to, and you need to do that for yourself as well. Because if you're being a Snapchat Donnie, we all know that one. I'm not going to shout it. I'm not going to shout it out. Shout out to Drew. But that's gonna have to get cut. But if you're a Snapchat Donnie, meet the girl. Oh, what are you doing later? She's not doing any. I'll let you into a little secret. Yeah, she's not doing anything later. Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. Come and meet me. Go to the park. We'll have a beer. We'll have a cider. Get your brother to buy it. If you don't have a brother, we'll talk. Because that's the number. That's what you got to do. You got to talk to people, and then you know the person. And guess what? At least 2 of my friends who I know are going to be rich when I'm older. I'm set. I am.
What do you mean at least 2?
At least 2.
Who?
Oh, I'll talk to you about that. I don't want to obviously name drop on these.
No, actually,
Shout out to Alex and Jamie and Mark and Adil and Jess.
That's 4, that's 6.
Sorry. I'm giving you options here. At least one of them is going to be rich. And guess what? Oh, Lack, I heard you got a job opening. Do you remember your old mate, Benji? Oh, is that the gay one? Oh, nah, Bracey's actually working here now. Do you know what I mean? Bracey works for Lucky. He's like 70, but he works for him. Oh, he looks good as well still. But his mum still dresses him. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good at Hugo Boss suits.
Yeah. Nobody does. Mr. Allen. Shout out to Mr. Allen. But he has like a £1,000 suit. And he walks around his school like a supply teacher in them. Oh, shout out to that guy. And also, I found my umbrella under his desk. He kept it there for me. Well, that's lucky, isn't it? I didn't know it was going to be there. You did, mate, because you moved it there, didn't you?
No, but the thing is, he doesn't like people that
Like on their phones.
Yeah. If you're in a social setting, don't sit on your phone.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay.
Unless the person you're messaging is fit.
That's pretty good.
If you're messaging a fit person, fuck the boys, innit? Nah, but obviously shout out to Alex. And yeah, well that's all I've got to say, to be honest. That's a bit of wisdom shared. I'm sure I'll share some more wisdom in a future episode.
Okay, hopefully I can get like an adult on next, because we had a lot of youngsters on, and and hopefully we can get some more wisdom. And I'll see you next time. All right, peace.